We got the headlights and the bezels and the grill and everything up here in the front out of the way so that we could get that front fender off, and that is over there off to the side. Now we're at the point where we can kind of take a look at where we're going to go, because today it's all about fixing rust issues, right? And another issue as well, which you'll get into in a second. But anytime you're doing that and you're thinking, man, who am I going to go to? We're working with the guys from Classic to Current Fabrication. We love working with them, and let me tell you why they call it Classic to Current, because they have got metal replacement parts from all your current stuff on a lot of different vehicles, going back to like a 1932 Model A.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're doing a project on, let's say, like a 1967 whatever, and you're going, there's some rust there, and that's beyond really what I want to do, I'd rather just find the metal and replace it. But who do you call? These are the guys you call.
Yeah, for good reason, too, because what they do is they take on, some of the eclectic vehicles as well, like this Comanche, right? It has been produced in, over 30-some years.
Yeah.
But there are some parts and pieces that are unique to it. I know I said from the beginning that, well, from here to there, it's all Cherokee. Well, I kind of lied to you because the rocker panel isn't. But you know what? They make a part to replace it as well. So they've got, a fix for all those hard-to-find parts and pieces you need. Now, one of the things we discovered when we pulled that front fender off is an issue right here. And it's kind of common on these vehicles. Basically, the paint's being worn off because it's hitting against the tire. So what's going to happen is, over the course of time, you're going to want to put bigger wheels and tires. You're going to have more of a clearance issue. Well, they've got a fix for that as well. So you can go ahead, and there's 4 little spot welds you can hit with a grinder to take this panel off, and now they've got a replacement panel here that'll go up into place. So essentially, you're removing all of this, so now you've got plenty of clearance to put as big a wheel and tire as you want. It's like, why didn't the factory think about that early on, right?
I don't know. It's solving multiple problems. But real quick, before we want to go to, I want to say something cool about the business, right? Because it's a family business. A lot of military in that family. Right. These guys started in Detroit, Rock City, and they were all into cars, and they were into that stuff. And what they noticed over time, and they were kind of into other parts of the vehicles, and it was all about this, finding metal for rust problems. There was a void in that. And they're like, hey, you know what? Let's step in and we can solve those problems. And I don't know if they have addictive personalities or whatnot, but next thing you know, they got all these different pieces and parts for all these different vehicles. So I like it.
I do too, man. It helps us keep vehicles like this on the road and looking good.
All right, so as you said, this piece is coming out, but we've got to move a couple more things behind it before we get to that.
So now it's time to remove this panel. When it all comes down to all the spot welds we've got to get through to get it off. Now, the real key is taking some time and doing it the right way versus butchering it up, because when it comes to putting the new panel in, it makes it a whole lot easier and it's a lot cleaner look if you just kind of, be a little smart about it and you have a kind of a thought process. So what I've decided to do is you've got spot welds all through here, then you've got them here, and then it'll line basically on the underside. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. What I like to do is basically take a really pointy and sharp drill bit and kind of find a center point for each spot we're going to go through and try and drill out the spot welds. Now, people can take a punch and do it that way, but sometimes you don't get deep enough, and then when you use the proper tool, it wants to walk on you. So if you take a really sharp drill bit and you use it almost like a center punch to give you a starting point, it gives you a good baseline to go with. Now, believe it or not, there is a tool that was made specifically for these spot welds to drill out. You can see it's got a center point to locate on. There is your center point, and you're going to drill down just enough to break it through. The key is only to drill through the panel you're trying to remove. You don't want to drill through the backside because that's more work you have to go ahead and repair it. So I'm going to go ahead and put center punches, so to speak, all the way around the spots where I'm going to spot weld drill, and then start drilling away and getting this panel off. It's a good time for you guys to take a break because this is going to take a minute.
So you're going to do all the work, and I get to do the reveal?
I'm a giver, dude.
This is great. I love reveals.
It really wasn't that bad. It was about a half hour, 45 minutes. Now, keep in mind, this was the first time I've ever done this before on this vehicle. Right. Now, to do the other side, probably do it in like 10 or 15 minutes because I know exactly how to get it done.
Reveals are like cutaways, dude. Steel loves those things. Look at that. Boom. I'll file that. Look at all the room.
You can see how much clearance we have now. It literally fits right where it needs to be. We'll fasten it here, and boom, done. Now we can put, some rice and canes in this thing.
So while you were working, I got a hold of our buddy that had the other one in here. Because we were wondering, it's like now he's going to be seeing this, and he's like, oh,
Did you actually get him on the phone?
Well, I texted him, and he texted back.
He did?
Well, when I came back over here to shoot this with you, I had the blue bubbles, so he was writing something. I don't know what it is.
Was he cussing at you again?
Probably. If we take a look back here at the side of the metal piece where that is going to weld to, I went ahead and ground that down, got it good and clean, smoothed out those spot welds and all that. I still need to do that up here. And once I get done with that, we'll hit it with some weld-through primer. That way we can weld through it, but it will be protected. Now, if you take a look at the bottom of this piece, you're gonna see 4 holes right there. And that is where, let me put this in place. That's where the spot welds will go in, right, to hold everything in. There are more spot welds along here. They're already in there. We just got to punch them out with a drill bit, and it will actually weld that in from this side, and that'll give this a cleaner look right here. So, as Bruno said, it's coming along nicely, and it's not all that difficult to do. Dude, this is nice.
I mean, look at it. It's
solid.
It's one with the truck now.
You can pretty much do chin-ups on this thing. So,
and believe it or not, we still have a few more spot welds to go, but I think you get the picture that this is a solid piece. It's a 19 gauge steel, and I'm gonna tell you something, quality.
So this is actually made by the guys at Classic to Current. They make these metal parts. And I mentioned their breadth of product, all of the parts that they've got available. And some of them they source, right? They don't have, there's not enough time to make every single part that they have available. But they work with companies, and the cool thing that I like about them is they look at everything quarterly, and they go, okay, is there any piece or product that we're sourcing that's coming back with a lot of complaints or that isn't fitting or something like that? And if there is, boom, they don't work with them anymore. That way they keep the quality up. So, and I think it's safe to say that not every single company on earth does that.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say as well. You know, other thing to keep in mind too is like this is for a Comanche, but this same product will work on your Cherokees as well.
Yep.
So you can do the same project. If you've got a lifted vehicle, big wheel and tire, you need some clearance room, this is the perfect solution for your Cherokees too. Right. So we talk about those source products, right? Well, this is one of them. This is that front fender we're putting on. Now you can see this is actually a pretty nice piece, and while it doesn't look like it's fitting perfectly right now, the reason why it's not is because of the bumper.
Yeah, there's a lip. There's a lip right on the backside here, and that's sitting on the bumper right there.
Well, that's an aftermarket bumper. It's not the production one. So what he did to make the production body panel fit, they actually cut it. You can see right here.
There.
So if you cut this right off, it would fit right on, and this gap would be perfect. The thing is, this guy's not going to use this bumper on this.
Right.
So I don't want to cut this front fender and butcher this thing up. So I say we just hand it to him like it is. So when you get your new bumper, bolt this thing on.
So another one of those source parts are the floor pans, like you were talking about.
You know, he mentioned something that there might be an issue with the floor pan being thin or having lots of rusted through spots. He hadn't really taken a look. So we're going to peel back the layers and see if we need to do a little bit of patchwork on the inside, but wanted to make sure we had the right product to put in just in case.